Thanks so much for your company. I am Pius Kojobaka. To our very first story. Bulk oil distributors have assured that they remain committed to the new specifications for importing petroleum products into the country. The pledge comes after the National Petroleum Authority earlier this month turned away a vessel carrying petroleum products with high manganese levels. This was despite the coming into force of the new requirements for importing products from January 1, following complaints by some motorists and the old specifications caused problems to their engines. Dr. Patrick Kwekufori is Chief Executive of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distribution Companies.
We've all, for the past 4 or 5 weeks, informed our major trading partners that the specifications have changed. We've looked at it, and our last engagement, we realized that although we're looking out for magnesium and other metals in the fuel specification, one thing that we're not looking critically at is iron. And now that the regulator is building its capacity to be able to test and verify all those, it gives all of us confidence that we can bring in products that will meet the specification, that will also abet any situation.
Dr. Patrick Kwekufori is the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distribution Companies speaking there. Now, economist and lecturer Professor Lord Mensah has warned that burdening the country with more debts could unsettle the economy for the next 22 years. He cautioned government against overspending ahead of the 2024 elections, pointing out that government's resort to short-term debt financing due to its inability to go to the capital market is already stifling growth in the private sector. Speaking on Joy News, Professor Mensah emphasized that staying fiscally disciplined and prioritizing expenditure in 2024 will be crucial to the economic rebound of the country.
Because access to international market is not there. So when it comes to getting in, expenditure like it used to be, we're going to derail this economy completely for the next 22 years. Because government options for financing is only on the local market. If you look at the structures of even the local market, the financing has been resorted to short term. Government can only borrow up to a maximum of 1 year. So government cannot make any attempt to make unnecessary expenditure going into this election.
Professor Lord Mensah is a finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School speaking on Joy News. Now, the Association of Ghana Industries has restated that issues of cost of electricity to businesses must be looked at again to make Ghana's manufacturing companies competitive across the continent. AGI is of the view that the cost of electricity and high interest rates makes the cost of production unbearable for the industry sector. Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive Officer of the association, Seth Chumakwabwa, said cost of input, particularly power, must be reviewed again in 2024 to help Ghanaian businesses grow.
When we are talking about electricity tariffs, we are talking about cost of production. When we are talking about cost of finance, and I just mentioned policy rate being high, I talked about interest costs being high. When I'm talking about what does it mean? I talked about the value chains being effectively developed such that the raw material supplied to the industries will be cheaper. And then the logistics for moving them. I mean, if you take electricity, in China, it's about 4 to 5 cents.
Seth Chumakwabwa is the CEO of AGI. Speaking there to some other stories, players in the industry sector of the economy are expecting some more attention from government to ensure sustainable growth. According to them, this is a critical area that will create jobs and make more revenue for the state. Speaking to Joy Business on the business community's expectation for the year, country managing partner for Deloitte Ghana, Daniel Owusu, said industry expects more from government this year.
Industry has been declining. Those are industry is the one that drives production. That is where we can create employment. I think they were looking for a lot more from that side, but they didn't see it. But by and large, I think we've seen some stability in the system. We've seen that there's a reduction in inflation, and we are hoping and also praying that stability will continue. And if that continues and we're able to achieve our targets, then that will probably start to prepare us for the changes that we are looking for.
More on businesses, and the Ghana Union of Traders Association has called on government to urgently adopt measures aimed at reducing taxes and charges at the ports. According to GUTA, the fees and charges have significantly impeded the ease of doing business in the country. Speaking to Joy Business, Public Relations Officer of GUTA, Joseph Paddy, called on the Finance Minister to address the high cost of operations at the ports.
The duty rate is almost about 51% cumulatively. So you import goods worth about $100,000. We are paying about $51,000 as a form of duty and taxes. So putting all this together, cost of doing business in the country is extremely high. That is why we want government to come to our aid and see how we can prune on cost of doing business in the country so that the business community can be competitive. But if the Honorable Minister comes up to say that we form a cartel or a cabal to make price of goods and service go up and make government unpopular, is the unfortunate statement that the Minister has made.
Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Joseph Paddy. To the financial sector now, and shareholders of the Agricultural Development Bank PLC have granted approval for a record capital injection of 2 billion cedis into the bank to strengthen its operations. The resolution was passed at an extraordinary general meeting of the shareholders on December 28, 2023 at the Accra Financial Center. There's more in this report.
According to a statement issued by the bank, the resolution was in furtherance of the ADB's intention to raise additional capital to shore up its minimum paid-up capital, which has been adversely affected by factors including the impact of the recent domestic debt exchange program and challenged performance of the banking sector over the past 2 years, among others. The resolution received an overwhelming endorsement without any opposition or abstention. The approval has now empowered the bank to raise the additional equity capital of up to 2 billion cedis through a renounceable right issue on such terms including the share price, the number of offer shares, allotment, and other modalities. Speaking at the EGM, the board chairman of the bank, Dasebre Kwamwa Japan II, indicated that per Section 28 of the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2016, Act 930, ADB is required to maintain the prescribed minimum paid-up capital unimpaired by losses, including accumulating losses or other adjustments.
A Business Desk report. Now, the National Insurance Commission says it has started measures to rope in more players in other sectors of the economy in the operations. The Commission said this will support the quest to expand through innovation. Head of Supervision for the Commission, Stella Jonah, is optimistic of a robust drive to increase penetration this year.
We are developing a legal and supervisory framework to encourage and foster innovation, and we're engaging insurance companies and tech firms to ensure that we move in that direction. Just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a tech forum where we had a number of companies from the industry. Dr. Kwabason was there from the GIA, the brokers were there, and some of the tech firms had the opportunity to pitch what innovation they have to offer the insurance sector.
Stella Jonah is the head of supervision at the National Insurance Commission. It's time for your pension tip on Money Lab.
Hello, welcome to Money Lab. My name is Kofi Poli, Chief Operations Officer of People's Pension Trusts. We are on our pension tidbits on Money Lab. Today, we are going to look at the pension architecture in Ghana under Pension Act 2008, Act 766. Under this act, we are supposed to have a 3-tier pension scheme. Tier 1 is the Basic National Pension Scheme, which is handled by the statutory body of Ghana for pensions, that is SNIT, Social Security and National Insurance Trusts. Thank you once again for being with us, and in our next episodes, we will look at Tier 2 and Tier 3.
And that's it for the Joy Business Report. But before we go, the EcoBank salary account is a special account designed for workers of all income brackets desirous of receiving their salaries through EcoBank. With the EcoBank salary account, you are guaranteed all the benefits of a normal savings or current account plus many more. EcoBank salary account gives workers free life insurance cover of up to 10,000 cedis, 24/7 access to cash and e-banking services, internet and mobile banking services, high interest on savings, no minimum balance, ability to save through the EcoBank Save As You Spend, a unique feature that helps customers to save and invest. Remember, the insurance policy covers death, permanent or temporary disability, critical illness, hospitalization, retrenchment, and more. Savings or current account holders at EcoBank do not have to close the existing accounts to enjoy the numerous benefits of the EcoBank salary account. Just ask your branch to switch your existing account to the EcoBank salary account. Non-EcoBank account holders should approach an EcoBank branch and ask for the EcoBank salary account. Switch your salary account today and enjoy amazing benefits at EcoBank. call EcoBank toll free on 0800 003 225 wherever for further details. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Thanks so much for your company.